There's one thing I want to say about this reveal, first of all, because I see a lot of people complaining about just the reveal itself. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's been rushed, blah blah. It worked incredibly well. There was a ton of foreshadowing to this entire reveal, okay? It's been foreshadowed since episode 1, where Reverse Flash literally says, now who's the villain, Flash? Now who's the villain? And I don't see why there's so much complaining about it. I mean, there's been way more foreshadowing here. I mean, how would have Savitar known all the things that we didn't see him in, like the whole Earth 2 shenanigans and all of that? It's because Barry was there. That's it all ties in perfectly. It isn't like the whole Zoom reveal where Zoom took the identity of Jay Garrick, because there was no way realistically that we would have known that, but here it tied in perfectly. We got to know exactly what had happened. Well, we didn't know what happened, but you know, the foreshadowing was absolutely on point and the reveal was perfect. I mean, I'm not afraid to say that I was literally jumping out of my chair when that happened. It was fairly obvious that it was Barry. There was no way that it was going to be Ronnie like everyone else was saying, because why would Ronnie come back all evil? The man sacrificed himself in a heroic way. You know, he accepted his death, he accepted what he had to do so he can help Barry and everybody else live. So, I mean, you know, it was kind of obvious it was Barry, especially with the whole color scheme, because he has like the whole blue scheme like the Future Flash does, and Wally is in the wheelchair and Iris is dead, but in the, I think it's Out of Time is what it's called. It's actually Iris being in the wheelchair and Wally being dead. So there were so many dead giveaways, but the only reason we didn't know that this was actually actually the biggest thing that he said was, I am the future Flash. And the thing is, if we all weren't grammar Nazis, we would actually know that it was that, because if you put a comma where he's like, I am the future, and then you put the comma there and it says Flash, that means that he said he's the future, not that he's the future Flash. So and this ties in where this discussion kind of video comes in. So I want to give credits to Synergy from Twitter. He posted this in r/FlashTV, and basically I'm going to be reading what he says and I'm going to give my thoughts on this. So he's got kind of a theory discussion going on regarding Savitar's motivation. So I'm going to have this up on the screen for you guys so you can see it, and definitely go contribute in that Reddit as well as in the comments. So basically, I'm going to read what it says. So it basically says, our Barry, let's call him Barry A, travels to the future to try and find out who Savitar is. He meets emo Barry, Barry B, and then travels back in time. Barry A loses Iris to Savitar. After many years, it becomes the emo Barry B. Barry B is visited by Savitar again, but manages to trap him in the Speed Force. He's then visited by Barry A, asking for information. After Barry A leaves, Barry B picks up being the Flash, and then after an unknown amount of time, has his face scarred, gets the Savitar suit becoming Barry C, then travels back in time to kill Iris. Barry C then travels forward in time for an unknown reason, where Barry B traps him in the Speed Force. It's not been disclosed if time is linear in the Speed Force, but for the sake of this discussion we'll assume it isn't. And it's after another undisclosed amount of time, and the past episodes of the season, that Wally lets Barry C out of the Speed Force prison, allowing Barry C to meet Barry A at the end of tonight's episode. So basically, then he says obviously the writers want to break the bootstrap loop by the end of the season. I mean, if they don't, we're just going to have this whole thing in a loop, and that's not what we want. So we're going to have to break this loop. So then he says, why would Barry C, who discovers his Savitar through natural progression of events rather than information revealed to him, not just not become Savitar and break the loop himself? And then he says, my original thought was that it's the writer's attempts at adapting the Out of Time arc, but in that arc, Future Flash is all about Iris not dying. She's the catalyst that made everything go wrong, so he stops not. Here Barry C is the cause of her dying. So his initial theories are, he says, 1. Barry C has to become Savitar for some world-shattering event. 2. Much like Eobot, Barry C doesn't see these earlier versions of his friends and family as his, so he doesn't care. 3. And then he says, and this is the one I'm not entirely sure about, so bear with me. Going back to when Barry A visited Barry B, by the end of their visit, Barry B was out of his grunge phase and back in a suit. What if after Barry A travels back to the past, Barry B's life starts getting even worse, like everyone dies? So then Barry B becomes dead inside, and instead of being upset with Iris dying, he becomes furious with Barry A. If he just let Iris die like she was destined to instead of coming to the future for info, Barry B would never have tried being Flash again, and HR, Cisco, Joe, and everybody else in that timeline will still be alive. So Barry B becomes Barry C. And then he says obviously that's a long shot because we really do not have enough information, so it's kind of headcanon, I guess. But the thing here that I just wanna, I guess, talk about is I'm pretty sure the future has already been changed, because when Barry went into the future and he asks Barry B who Savitar is, like, he never gets to find out who he was before he traps him in the Speed Force, unless that was the future emo Barry actually lying to the past Barry to, I guess, prevent any timeline damages, so to say. Otherwise events wouldn't have gone the way they would have. But things should be changing already, because instead of, you know, that woman finding out, I guess finding the way to stop Savitar in the future, we have her here right now in the present, already implementing the idea of using Savitar's suit against him. And I'm pretty sure that the reason why Barry's face is scarred is because he ran way too fast and he started burning his face. And my kind of headcanon is the reason why it didn't heal is because it was damaged by the Speed Force lightning itself. Because we know that he gets these powers from the Speed Force, is able to heal, but I'm not sure if he'd be able to heal any damages caused by the Speed Force, which is why he then created that suit, so it shields him from, I guess, the electrical discharge that he gives off when he runs, so his body doesn't just disintegrate, because before we've had him run fast enough and he needed that suit to stop his, I guess, the suit he'd wear from disintegrating, so now he's gotta wear something to stop himself from disintegrating. And the whole Philosopher's Stone thing is, I'm pretty sure he's using that to power his suit even to run even faster, I guess, because he needed that to actually get out of the Speed Force. So we know he was trapped in a Speed Force, and then he got the Philosopher's Stone in there and he got out. Again, all of this stuff is still very confusing to myself, as well as to many of you guys as well. So I'd like to get you guys in on this discussion in the comment section below. Let's just, you know, discuss how the emo Barry became Savitar. Or another thing I want to bring up real quick is, let me just find this because I have it on my computer saved. Just give me one moment. So when emo Barry is actually talking to Barry, he basically states that this Barry was going to do anything, okay, he was going to do anything to, you know, stop Savitar. And he says, you're even going to create time remnants of yourself, and then he says, but he's going to kill them all, mostly. So another theory here could be that another time remnant that he creates here becomes Savitar, because at this point, Barry already knows who Savitar is. All of those events that happened, he was there for. You know, he was there for when that Cisco thing happened, and it would make sense, but we don't know what would happen to that time remnant. Did it get taken into the Speed Force by the Black Flash? Did it run away? Did Savitar take it with it and then trap it into the Speed Force to ensure his own survival? This is where all of these headcanons come in, but it is something to consider here, okay? It is something to definitely consider and keep in mind, because we've been fed these breadcrumbs from season 1. Like I said, Eobard Thawne says who's the, you know, who's the villain now, Flash, who's the villain, and maybe Barry's gonna go back in time again, and he's gonna prevent that Barry that, you know, originally creates Flashpoint. He's going to prevent him from doing it, thus never creating Flashpoint and never creating Savitar. But I honestly really don't know. I will definitely, however, look for more, I guess, plausible theories. I'm definitely going to think about this more myself as time does go on, because we do have 3 episodes left until the finale. Actually, yeah, episode 23 is the finale. We get to see what happens, and let's leave it at that. Definitely go to that subreddit and go, just participate in that subreddit as well. Again, all credit goes for this to Energy. Much appreciated for this because it does make sense. However, it still does leave enough holes in this theory for the fans and people that enjoy this show to just discuss. This is a fun discussion to keep everybody going until the next episode is out, because I'm pretty sure we're all craving this. It's going to be insane. So thank you everybody for watching, and definitely leave a comment in the comment section down below if you have any theories or anything like that you can contribute to this. The subreddit is going to be in the description below as well. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this discussion, definitely do subscribe for more discussions like this and theories, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys, have an epic day.